Welcome back to the channel. The amount of videos that I've done from this kitchen because of my recent move, I should ultimately turn this channel into a cooking channel, I know. But until then, thank you for your patience. Now, I'm going to keep this direct and to the point as usual. If you've seen my previous video on HEDERA HBAR, you'll know the fundamentals of some of the tech and why we like the project from a nuts and bolts perspective. If you haven't, go back and check it out. I don't want to be redundant in this video, so you'll save me a lot of time. But to me, sentiment over the last few months has shown me that some people seem to be losing faith in HEDERA. I think this is a big mistake, and I'm going to tell you why. And in fact, why I think it's a superb opportunity, some really huge returns come this next bull cycle. But first, if you could drop a like and sub, we would love to have you be a part of our community as we head towards this potential Super Bowl, mother of all markets, where, let's face it, it may very well be our last chance to dominate financially to the same degree. So no pressure. All right, firstly, HBAR's previous all-time high was around 50 cents. Now, we are sitting at around 6 cents. And since then, in short, to me, it's grown in all the right ways. And so it's positioned in a lot more of a strong position. They have some great tech, and they are the leading ledger, certainly when it comes to transactional volume, with a ton of money flowing through it. Unfortunately, they were listed on Coinbase during a bear market when everyone was running from crypto. So, of course, they weren't able to capitalize on that potential pump, as we've seen with numerous other projects that were listed in more favorable conditions. But the silver lining here is for this next cycle, we can see the buying became a heck of a lot easier, especially for newbies learning about the project for the first time and seeing that it is indeed available on their beloved Coinbase right from the get-go. So I truly believe that HBAR is showing huge potential, certainly for an exciting bull market. And importantly, it's showing fantastic progress towards real-world asset sector. Most top blockchains, of course, have a strategy for long-term growth. It's what makes them a feasible investment option for many of us who actually do our due diligence and want to make sure that projects are going to be around for the long haul and also have a good strategy to ensure they're also growing their business effectively over that period. It's essentially what separates them from the meme coins or from the foreseeable failing projects, let's see. For HEDERA, that strategy has been leaning strongly toward real-world assets. Its latest announcement underscores a major step in this direction. They revealed that they are partnering with Airbnb to tokenize their money market fund, which will attract retail investors and simplify global payments. And so this is huge. And we will start to see the fruits of this move in the coming months and into the next year and a half. This, to me, represents one of the biggest opportunities for HEDERA, putting them in a very unique position to expand their portfolio in favor of more of that organic utility. This development, in my opinion, could put HEDERA way ahead of all its competition, as well as pave the way for other high-profile tokenization opportunities. This is typically how it goes. You gain more legitimacy as a partner once you start bringing in some of the big boys out there, like an Airbnb, and then the floodgates open. This is a big deal, and I absolutely love that HEDERA has been super aggressively pushing towards tokenization. This is no doubt in my mind going to result in way more value flowing into the token, especially in the long term as we start to see that snowball effect take form as everyone starts to get into buyer mode when the bull market's in full swing and euphoria is at all-time highs. So to me, HBAR is gaining attention and has potential for significant growth and ultimately breaking out of the trend that it formed during the last down cycle. And I expect it, honestly, to reach 15x or 20x from today's pricing, especially if Bitcoin performs as well as we expect. And as discussed in previous videos, I truly believe that a lot of these big money investors will have no choice when it comes to injecting large percentages of their holdings into crypto. They are essentially being forced to avoid hyperinflation and hedge against basically war and all of that other stuff that's rapidly approaching. What do you think is going to happen to projects like HBAR then? Projects that have been applying their efforts into strategic partnerships and tokenization as a main driver of their growth. They explode. they position themselves as a more viable option for investment than other options. Simple. Now, we do have to bear in mind, many folks have been holding their tokens from the high entry points 4 years ago. And so I do expect we will see some major sell-off once we get back to around 40 or 50 cents. I think we will slide past those numbers, but I do think it will shake some people out along the way, as typically happens. That's just the way it goes. And it's going to take some bravery and some conviction to not be one of those folks. But I do think if we do have the ability to hold on, we will start to make higher highs and then have the potential to see some price moving above $1 and onwards. And then we've got to make that call as we see it. You know, I'm a big believer in real-time updates on this stuff. You have to stay relevant. It's almost going to be impossible to plot the course past that point, in my opinion, until we start seeing how the market looks at that time. Now, lots of people are usually asking me when I talk about tokens, how much do I need to accumulate? What's a number I need to get to? Now, this is, of course, subjective and falls to each of your own personal budgets, financial situations, as much as anything else, and all that good stuff. But as you've heard me say before, in my opinion, the more skin in the game you have, the less of the risk in you holding for too long. You're not tempted to hold on way past exit points because you're waiting for your few $100 you invested to make a difference in your life. And then, so you have a much higher chance of not being held out to dry when we start to see price drops if you have more holdings to begin with. So for me, some of you may not like this. And remember, this is just my opinion. Getting to 100K HBAR while you can would be an ideal situation. I know it's a stretch for many, especially given some of the other tokens we're looking into building positions as well. But even if you only get to midway to that position, it's still likely going to be a fantastic move. If the evidence we're seeing of these savvy moves right now the project's making is anything to go by, ultimately, it's your choice. I personally think the project has legs to show us some great things next year and into 2025. So I'm going to be taking regular positions when I see good opportunities. You can check out in our private group to see when those times are, and as well as some of the other projects that we're looking into. But as always, thank you for watching. Please don't be shy with the like button. It definitely does help the channel out if you are inclined to do so. And let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on the HBAR price predictions for next year and going into 2025. And I'd love to hear more about some of the positions that you're taking and how much skin in the game you're willing to give this project, because I understand it. We're looking at a few different projects right now. And I'm going to say this, I wouldn't have included HBAR into my portfolio unless I had some major confidence in it. And I'm telling you, I do have confidence in it.